Within 2 weeks, we had about 20 people already volunteering for our group. Let me just give you a little background of some of the individuals that are involved here. The co-directors are Mary Rodwell and, okay, it's not a good picture, Mary Rodwell, and we have Christina Knows, that's a picture of Christina, and myself. Okay. And the advisory board members, we have several of them here, and I want to thank them. We have Kathleen Martin, we have Denise Stoner, we have Giorgio Piacenza, who came from Peru. He lives in Peru. You know the background of Kathleen and Denise. Giorgio is pretty much one of the world's leading quote-unquote experts on consciousness. He's affiliated with the Institute for Noetic Studies that Dr. Edgar Mitchell founded. He's also on the board of Michael Sala's Exopolitics group. He's been a ufologist and an experiencer research for at least 30 years, pretty much throughout Latin America. He's come to the U.S. numerous times. He's also a physicist as well, even though that's not his academic training. He's a jack of all trades, so he's here. And then we have Dennis Briefer, who, chairman, right? Chair. The past chair of the John Mack Institute, and Dennis has been with us since pretty much since day one. Dennis is an engineer and physicist, that's his background, also an experiencer. And we have John Polk, who's a consultant, and he's going to be working with us to assist us. John is also an experiencer. But let me go over some of the names here, just so you get an idea of the individuals that we have. Edgar Mitchell, Leo Sprinkle, which some of you might know. He was pretty much the dean of abduction and experiencer research. I think his first paper was 1962. Leo is 84 years old. So he's actively working with Kathleen, Denise, with Giorgio, and many other members in our research committee. Rudy Shields, that's him looking like a half ET there. John Klimo, a lot of people don't know who he is, but he, in my opinion, is the world's leading academic authority on the paranormal. He's been studying the paranormal for over 40 years. He's chaired over 250 PhD dissertations, 75 have been on the paranormal topic. He wrote the classic academic book on channeling, and we actually had a channeling experience, and he was involved in the Skype call where we had 3 ladies channeling a being. And so I said, John, did that freak you out? And he started laughing. She says, Ray, I wrote a book on it, you know. And so Whitley Strieber, which you know, no need to articulate his background. Barbara Lamb as well. Barbara has been working in this field for close to 40 years. Just like the ladies in the back, just a true gem, a true sweetheart. Ralph Steiner, a lot of people don't know who he is, but Ralph Steiner was a child math and physics prodigy. At the age of 8 years old, he was, you know, playing with advanced calculus. At the age of 14, he wrote a paper on the quantum hologram before it was even published by David Bohm, fully published. So, you know, plus he's been researching the paranormal for 30 years, and he's also an experiencer. There's Kathleen with 2 of her books. She needs to include a couple more in there, Kathleen. Oh, sorry that the pictures are not bigger, but Denise, which you all met a short while ago. Marilyn Hughes. In my opinion, she's one of the world's leading mystics. She has written over 90-something books on her mystic travels. She started off doing straight meditation when she was very, very young. She then went out of body. That lasted a few occurrences. After that, she went straight to the matrix when she encountered numerous spiritual entities. Then the ET type of entities joined in later on, all in the matrix, which is like a sort of like the movie Matrix. If you've seen that movie, It's sort of like you're in this other dimension and you're like interacting with different types of being in a telepathic way. So, and then these beings started to materialize. We have another fellow, same exact experiences. So, so obviously this is not ET contact. Of course it is, okay? Then they materialized physically to her. And so she's part of our team, and she's been a wonderful, wonderful help to get us going. Giles Campbell is a research geneticist, okay? Again, another person that's had a difficult time transitioning to this reality. Because just like me, this guy was a atheist, material rationalist, research geneticist, and all of a sudden he's seeing mantids all over the place, So Giles went actually to live close to Mary Ronwell. They live in the same city. And he's a wonderful resource. I know that Denise, he and I have had numerous conference calls together. We call them support group therapy sessions, because these are the therapy sessions for the therapists, And boy, what gets said at those conference calls! Oh my God, you think you guys are talking crazy stuff? Wait till the Barbara Lamb, Mary Rodwell, Denise Stone, and all of them start kicking it together. Then you're really going to get a lot of action. There's Dennis, which some of you have met. He waved his hand back there. I introduced him. We have also Joseph Burks, who's also an experiencer. He's a medical doctor, retired medical doctor, and he originally worked with Stephen Greer. He's one of the co-founders of CSETI, I guess it is, with Stephen Greer. And he left, like many people left Greer, he left in '98. But he still remains active with Grupo Rama, which is the original folks in Latin America in the early '70s that did a lot of contact work, and that's his specialty, contact work. Alex Securis, he has a radio station, skeptical radio blog, all on consciousness and near-death experiences, but mainly consciousness. The conversations that take place in there are just totally unbelievable. Mainly academics, and they translate, the theory, the concept of consciousness to the layperson. And that was one of my glues, because most of the stuff that's on the radio blogs are nonsense. But Star Support, I love. I listen every week when they come out, okay? But he really kept my sanity going. And then Giorgio Piacenza, who I discussed earlier. We're almost done. Joe Lewell, some of you might know him. He took a 15-year hiatus from the experiencer field. He just recently retired, and once he found out what we were doing, he says, "Ray, I want in," And he's had a tremendous background. He's written 2 books on experiencers, and he was on the lecture circuit for many, many years. I'm sure that Kathleen and Stanley and maybe Mr. Bassett know who he is, or actually know him. And then Reverend Michael Carter, he very well known now. He wrote a book about his own experiences and aliens in the Bibles. He's had numerous interviews, many articles from many organizations. He's a member of our group. Cynthia Crawford, very well known experiencer. She makes sculptures of all the different types of beings. And she is like a who's who. She knows everybody. Extremely valuable resource for her. Very sweet lady. Dr. Jude Curvin, experiencer since she was a child. She has a master's in quantum physics from Oxford. Coal miner's daughter. Very difficult life. Okay. She also has a PhD in archaeology, focusing on ancient cultures. Again, another expert on consciousness, okay? And Craig Lang, who is with a colleague of Denise and Kathleen in the MUFON alien abduction research team. This is the last edition. And that's just a brief background of the people involved in our organization. Now let me tell you a little bit about FREE. We talked a whole bunch of nonsense. Now let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing. Free basically has three components, okay? One component is education, and that is the website. Now, later on, you can go to the website and learn about it, about the different components of it. But here we have numerous articles. We have two sections that deal with consciousness and physics, okay? We have 10 physicists that have written articles for free. These articles are to introduce to the experiencer the relationship between physics and consciousness. You just woke up from a little download.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew he had one. That's another gift that I've acquired. I know when someone's an experiencer or not, right? and so we want to be able to introduce the concept that the paranormal, the whole discussion of the quote-unquote spiritual world, the whole concept of the multi-dimensional reality, that's something that needs to be discussed when we talk about the ET contact experiences, because in the opinion of the vast majority of the members of our group, it's all interrelated. And Kathleen and numerous other speakers spoke about that interrelationship. Before, it used to be the pure nuts and bolts approach, okay? But now the paranormal is being slowly incorporated into this phenomenon. And the approach that we're taking with free is the quantum hologram theory of physics, and the subsidiary of that, which is consciousness. And I'm not going to go into those details because those are heavy duty, but we do have a lot of articles written for the non-physicist, the non-expert here, to introduce you to a lot of these concepts. Also, we have a lot of articles that talk about, for example, I wrote an article on the different ways, the different methods that people have ET contact. And I told you a little bit about them through out-of-body experiences, through mystical travel, through remote viewing, okay? And so all of these are ways of having contact that are not put out there, that are not usually associated. We're also going to have a menu on orbs. We have two people that are like orb specialists, okay? They volunteer to maintain that component of it. They're going to have articles on orbs. They're going to have videos, pictures on orbs. There was a lady that was here before, I forgot her name, I apologize. She showed me a picture of an orb that she had in her pocket of her grandchild. You know, so several other speakers talk, I think it was maybe Debbie that talked about orbs with some of her experiences, and Kathleen too. So this is a phenomenon that's associated with what we're dealing with, but yet it's not linked up, you know. What I'm trying to do is putting a big gigantic, soup together and say, look, it's all one big mixture, okay? And so that's the educational component. We also have a support component. And for the support component, let me put up my glasses here. Okay, we have here, right here. For support, we have different components. Everyone in our group realizes that all this thing is not just all positive and flowers for everybody, okay? There's a lot of individuals that are still dealing with trauma. Myself, I had my own trauma in a certain sense, even though it was a positive experience. My trauma was, I couldn't talk to anybody. Who do you talk to? My wife, she was like, she didn't want to talk to me because she thought that she was just adding more fuel to the fire. So I had no one to talk to until like a year later that I found Christina Knowles, okay? And so one thing that we're doing is we're gonna have something called an experiencer buddy, which I know that Starborn has something very similar. We have 25 volunteers now that they're willing to talk to people. So if you need someone to talk to, someone to exchange ideas and information, we've got 25 volunteers ready to talk to you, okay? That's an experiencer buddy. We also have a forum that we have here. Let me see if I can click that forum. This is the list of the therapists. Let me get to that. We have a list it's a draft list, but it's 20-something pages, 25 pages or so, of people that are certified mental health therapists, shrinks, people with PhDs or master's degrees. We have people that are regression therapists. We have support groups. A lot of the people in this room that do that work are listed here. So, and it's listed by state. And we have tons of people. Plus we have England, we have Canada, we have France, and I think in Latin America, a couple of them. You know, we're still working on it, but we wanted to make it an international support list. So Canada, there's a couple in Canada. So if you want to do, you know, go to a support group, boom, look up that list. If you want someone who, you know, doesn't do regression therapist, but is an actual licensed therapist, mental health therapist, you know, we've got that list there too. And so, and then we're trying to update that list, okay? So if there's anyone else that's not on that list, you can go to our website and you can check us out. Then we have a forum, an experiencer forum. And that's a place to meet the services of someone that I needed to talk to, you know? Who the hell do you talk to when you have these experiences? A lot of people are not integrated like many of you are, okay? John, who I met several months ago, I think he's only spoken to 3 people before about his experiences. And what it was that I sent an email out to the Flora MoveOn members. And my God, it was like they were coming out of the woodwork. I had like 10 people that were members of MoveOn saying that, you know, they were they had gone maybe to one meeting or so, they were turned off, that sort of thing, and that they wanted to know more about what we were doing, you know. And so if that was just from a little, you know, list that I sent out, imagine all over the world, all over the United States. So this forum hopefully will get people chatting and interacting with each other. And we have maybe like 20 different categories. For example, we have an NDE category. Let me just ask a question here. Maybe I should, this might be too personal, but how many people here have had near-death experiences? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't see in the back. 5. Okay. NDEs, well, I was on a phone call one time with 7 experiencers. 5 had NDEs. Okay, and I meet so many people now that are experiencers that have NDEs. So I know there's a relationship here. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. And so we have all these different topics, like an orb topic for discussion on orbs. If you've had many encounters with orbs, you know, there's a forum topic for that. So the forum is a place for people to interact. And if you are a knowledgeable experience, someone that has a good stability to yourself, go to the forum and help someone else out, you know? See some of the questions, start interacting with some of the folks. Okay? So that pretty much is our support component. And then we have a research component. Now the research component was my idea, and what it was, no, I don't want to add that. Let me go back to this here. What the research component was that myself, I have an academic background, and what I first tried to do was to do an academic literature review of the ET contact phenomenon, the experiencer phenomenon, the abduction phenomenon. And what I found out that from an academic perspective, very little was known about it, almost nothing. Okay, Dr. John Mack's book Passport to the Cosmos, I forgot who it was that put the picture of it. That was only based upon 44 individuals. Okay, Leo Sprinkle has written a lot of books, but again, it was articles. It was very, very limited, those articles. So almost nothing is known about this phenomenon. So what I did is I said, okay, we need to find something about this academically. Okay, so I contacted Dr. John Climo, and I told him about my idea, about the organization, and lo and behold, I found out that he's a lifetime experiencer. Okay, that wasn't by coincidence. I called him. Okay, he's been having experiences as a small child. Okay, I won't go into the details, but just let it be at that. He said, Ray, I was born to do this. Okay, so he's helping us from the academic side. We've got Dr. Leo Sprinkle, retired PhD psychologist, helping us academically. And then our research team, we have Kathleen, we have Denise, we have Giorgio, we have Mary Rodwell, we have Barbara Lamb, Ralph Steiner, and we have about 3 or 4 other individuals that are members of this research committee. We have on our website a preliminary survey, which is this one here, Are You an Experiencer? And that pretty much is what you see in a lot of these surveys is indicators whether you've had an experience. Our research team is going to be meeting over the next 3 months. We have a meeting scheduled for September, another one for October, regarding secondary questionnaires, if people want to participate to the next level of research. We have 18 right now secondary questionnaires. So this is going to be very, academic oriented, peer reviewed, because all of our methodology is going to be put on our website. All of our data eventually is going to be released to the public. It's not going to be like other organizations that keeps it in hiding, okay? And it's going to be academically driven. And everyone is excited about this project, this research project. Other little nuances that we have here, we have articles that we have posting, like article of the month, that type of thing. We have videos of the month, and we'll be rotating those. We also have a YouTube videos as well, for YouTube videos. And one thing that I want to do is something called out of the closet videos, okay? Why out of the closet videos? Because what I would like to be able to do is to stimulate a movement among experiencers, just like the gay movement, okay? Where before you were in the closet, you were quiet, okay? You were totally scared. My name is Ray Hernandez, okay? I'm an estate tax attorney in Miami, Florida, okay? I've worked for the IRS for 15 years. I've had the most highest ratings you can imagine out of the IRS. I am not scared, and I'm an experiencer. And I'm here to tell everyone that this is a reality. And all these people here are experiencers, and there are millions of others all over the world. Just like Kathleen said, it's time for us to come out of the closet. Okay? What we need help is in volunteers, support for our group. We need people to go into the forum. We need different types of volunteers to help us. As you can see, we have a huge agenda. It's not just one little thing. There's tons of little things, okay? We need interviewers. We need individuals that are experienced experiencers. People with a lot of knowledge into this to be able to help us to do these secondary interviews. You will be trained by our research team and by our academics. Articles, if you have articles to write, if you have videos, if you have photos, we're more than welcome to publish them. We're here to help you, to support you. That's what we're here all about. And we're here to expand the consciousness for everyone in humanity, that there are millions of people just like us, and that this is not a very simple phenomenon. This is like that soup that I was telling you about, that complex soup, where everything gets put in there, including advanced physics, okay? And our website is an attempt to try to begin to solve this riddle that we're all trying to deal with. And God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Ray. 8 o'clock straight up, 10-minute break, just 10 minutes.